Hello, mobsters. Welcome to today's month recap and preview video. So, this month we had a lot going on, and I'm going to just go over and recap all the different updates that we had for this month and then switch over into what I'm thinking I'm going to accomplish in the month of February. So for this video, seeing that it's the first one that I've started this series back up on, I'm going to recap some of the updates that I released in the end of December, just because there was a huge spree of a bunch of updates. So I just want to include those because there were some bigger updates that I did just want to talk about again. So we've got the update that was released on the 27th of December to start us off, and that was updating cities to only be unlocked if a district is owned in that city. So that shrunk the game down. It made it where instead of all 15 cities that were in the game, it made it where you had to unlock each city by filling. Families in the game would have to fill the city, and then the next city could be unlocked. So it shrunk it down, made it more competitive. Now families are forced to actually compete against one another. Um, then I did fix the being of the bots, clearing config ranking. So that was a fix after one of the updates. Fixed being able to upgrade Abyss past level 10 because it was possible to do that. Removed showing trespassers of other family members who also reside in the city. So when I first launched that city update, you could see everyone in the city, even if they weren't like someone that you could whack. So I removed that. Fixed whacking the bots and not giving a bonus. So they weren't giving a bonus. Some of these are just some minor fixes that I came across when releasing some of the stuff. Then we added when a new player logs into the streets, it sends a mail to open recruitment family. So if a family's got their open recruitment, like they have their families taking in new members, it will send from lieutenant up in the family mail saying that a new person is logged into the streets. So that way we can hopefully capture new players' attentions, show them that we are welcoming player base, and hopefully help them get started so they give the game a chance to learn it and hopefully enjoy it. Then kicking off January, I released new monthly rankings, reduced the limit for activity in the money family objective because they were a little too high, especially the money one was really high. Then just made another fix here for attempts in a day. Fix not being able to lower the heat meter. So some of these fixes, again, were just off a new update that had some things that I didn't foresee. And streamline the event. So this was a big one. The event process was pretty tedious for me, having to do a lot of pre-setup behind the scenes to get an event ready. And now I've got it where it just sets it all up automatically. It clears the old event out, sets up the new one, creates now a message board post letting people know what the event is about, what you need to know about playing it. So that's a big update that saves me a ton of time, which is fantastic. Plus, at the end of December, I finished the last event that I needed to create for every month to actually have an event. So that was huge. Then put in a calendar link at the bottom left so you can see when each event's going to take place and the special Omerta characters that I have in the game. Let's see. Then made it where I made the change where you don't lose weapons in Alice Island. Civilian-owned businesses now show the attack logs because they weren't doing that originally. New players will appear in green. Another really good update. Some of these updates might be from players, but I specifically remember this one being Anthony DiNaro. I was just very excited about that one. Like, it was such a simple idea that I just didn't think of yet. Even though I used that color scheme concept in other areas of the game, I just didn't think to put it there. So I'm glad I was able to get that in. So now we know who's new. So we know who to focus on as a player base as well. We know that they're new. We know that they're not just a returning player or someone maybe under disguise of a new name. Like, we know that's a new player, so we know that we need to focus on them and really spend time making sure that they understand the game and give it a shot and hopefully enjoy the game. Let's see. Send a message when you try and fly if you don't have enough money. Small improvement. Just that way it was clear, like if you tried to fly and you thought it went through, but it didn't, or you didn't understand why it didn't go through, especially if you're a new player. Like that was just a small update. The housing inventory page showing the health and the max health it can have, so that way you could go to your inventory if you have housing. Again, right now it's not pertinent to the game right now because we shrunk the size down and there's only 2 cities currently available. But when the game grows and there's more and more cities unlocked, like it'll be helpful to know where all your housing is for health. So let's see what's next. Money to heal. Oh, and heal. It would send a message, so it would send you right to the bank and saying, "Hey, you need money." Added a new item into the merchant store where you can buy cash. Then the next one was a really big one that I've been planning on doing for a long time. Just always was caught into doing other things instead, but added the tutorial video system into the game so that the videos are fully embedded into the game. I made a tutorial for pretty much every aspect of the game. I do have a couple more that I will be eventually adding in to the tutorial system, the things that I missed, and then a couple things that I didn't do because I knew that I was going to be releasing an update to them pretty soon. So I didn't want to release a video and then literally turn around and have to make a new one. So we've got that released activity betting into the casino. That's a really fun event, or not event, a very, very fun update to the game that I think will gain more traction, especially as there's more things to do right now. Just activity is a little bit harder, especially if you don't want to take the risk of going like 24 hours. Like an hour at most, you're going to be able to get like 2 or 3. If you use some boost to like boost your timing, you can then get more in. But like, so it's not, that one's not too good of a betting one, but there will be more being added in. And this is something that I had a lot of fun with when people in my own family, like bootlegging was the big thing. Like we just had like a side bet, no money, just bragging rights of like who could do the most like deliveries and stuff. And it just amped I saw that both of our activities went up because we were both trying to compete against each other and beat the other one out. So I was like, that's a really good idea. You can now challenge people to whatever the betting options are at the time. You can challenge someone and see if you can beat them for bragging rights. And now you can bet money. So you can win money and win some bets against some people. Add something that's already in the game. It's all stuff that's in the game already, but adds some more importance to it. Like, all right, now if I'm challenged someone and I'm in a competition with them in a bet of doing activity, then I'm going to try and be more active to get more activity so I can beat them. Whereas if I didn't have that bet going on, maybe I wouldn't be as active. So that one's a fun one. It will get more fun. There's a lot more that I plan on adding into the betting. Some more dynamic stuff eventually. Right now, I'll just be adding more stuff like what's in there now with the activity. But there's going to be attacking. There's going to be some fun ones in there. Eventually, those ones will take some time to get in, but the betting will become better and better as time goes on. Made another fix to the monthly rankings, something that was unforeseen, but now fixed. Then families now have an ownership where a family can only be dropped by the owner. So I put that in because with families, the way they are, like the longer a family is around, the more family points it's earned, which means more perks. And so it has more substance to it, where before there was this family point system in the game, which was back in the beta. If a family dropped, you could literally reform a family and you'd be back up and running and it'd be as if nothing had changed. But now with these family points and all these perks, if a family gets dropped unintentionally or by someone who's just like, I don't want to do this anymore, and they drop the family, then you lose everything. So if you try and restart your family, like you're starting back from scratch, and that is like a pretty devastating loss. So I added that because like people need breaks. Like it's being a Don is a lot of work, and it's sometimes you want to play either a different role or whatever, but you don't want to necessarily lose your family. So I added that in for that purpose. So that way, like people could take breaks from being a Don. They didn't, just because they were a Don now doesn't mean that they have to be the Don for forever, but they won't lose the family. Like they might have to fight their way back if the person doesn't want to relinquish it when you want to get it back. and you'll just basically have to fight them for the family and eventually try and replace them, take them out, and get back into it. But at least like that family will never not exist because of it. So that's why I added that. So that's the recap. So there was a lot going on. I was pretty excited over that course of time from like this the end of December all the way to January. There's a lot of updates happening, a lot of stuff going on. The end of the month slowed down. Me and the family got sick, and I'm just starting to feel better now. So I'm going to be picking back up into it. My goal is to just constantly try and churn out these updates and improvements and stuff. So that way I can make the game as best as it possibly can, and I'm really trying to focus really hard to make this work. So some of the things for February, I am currently working on the role play with admin feature. I'm revamping it. I'm making it a little bit smoother to operate, but I'm also adding in because before, like, the chance of, like, if whatever you role played, and it would determine based on how many times you've been rewarded with role play if you're successful or not. Well, not every time do you make a response is it an action. It could be just more dialogue to the story. So that was not very good. And then, like, there'd be different things. So what I'm adding into this feature is I'm adding in role play stats. So there'll be stats that will get pulled in, and these stats you can earn, and there'll be another job section being added in. So you'll have your normal jobs, your government jobs, and then there'll be role play jobs. And these will increase your role play stats, and you can pick which ones that you want to increase. And based on that, you will, as a player, will grow those stats, and then those stats will get used. So as of right now, I haven't finalized it yet. I'm still working through it, still coding it, still doing the testing. So it could change, but basically, admin will start a post, then you will, as a player, respond to that post, and then it won't actually post to the message board until admin or a moderator reviews it, and then they're going to assess, all right, what stats did they use in this post that are applicable. So, like, if you didn't use any stats, then they can just, all right, roll it through, and then then your post will be approved, it'll get posted, and it'll make sense. They'll have the ability to make any small edits and stuff to the post if things didn't quite make sense. Maybe you took credit or were trying to play out someone else's character, anything like along those lines. Then men will be able to, like, kind of maybe modify the post, but also the main thing is just review it, see if any stats were used, and then apply those stats, and then based on those stats, it'll tell you what you're successful at, and then admin will be able to actually, part of why they'll be able to edit your post is because if you're unsuccessful at something, they need to account for that. If, like, later in your same post you thought you were successful at something and then you did something additional on top of that, so it needs to account for those kinds of things. So I'm really excited for that. When I definitely release that, I will be releasing a video tutorial specifically on that, because at first it's probably going to be a little different than it's definitely different than anything else that we've ever done in the game. It takes the role play thing to a whole nother level. I'm going to be trying to work on creating much deeper role play posts, along with trying to start to integrate the city officials and everything into the role play posts, and trying to create our cities that our characters live in. So that is the goal for that. So that's what I'm currently working on. Some of the other ideas and things that I'm going to be trying to tackle in February is blackboard or black market fixes. It's a little cumbersome right now of trying to navigate and find what you're looking for. It's also just spam filled with items. Like, there's thousands of items and no one's buying them, and they're being bought at the cheapest level as they dwindle in price. And then there's others, hundreds and up to thousands of certain items literally just sitting in the market for no reason. So I'm going to be making an update to that, fixing that, trying to also make it run smoother. So that way, because it's kind of laggy when you go to some of the pages that have a ton of items, it kind of slows the page down and lags it because there's just too much. So I'll be making some changes, trying to fix that aspect of the game. So that way, hopefully it gets a little bit better for us. Then let's see. I'm going to be adding more betting options into the game, like I briefly talked about. Um, some of the ones I'm going to be adding like recent soon. I'll be adding like government job into the mix. Then like getting the bonus emerita from the government job as an option as well. So some adding a couple more fast paced type things. So like you can really challenge someone for like an hour. Like you can do a lot of those in an hour. Um, and then probably start to work on maybe adding some of the attacking features of it. Whereas like yes, so we each get 5 attempts. So I might add in more than 24 hours. Maybe I'll make it add in maybe 48 hours. So then you got 2 days. So now someone's got to get their stuff in 2 days in a row, which isn't that hard. But then I'll be adding in that point system. Similar to the rankings, you get different amount of points for attacking stronger people. So I'll be adding that in. So that'd be the tiebreaker. So if you both get your 5 beats in, whoever scored the most points, like one person attacked the bots, but one person actually attacked players, they're going to score higher than the person who attacked bots. So then they'll win. And then if I have time, I'm going to be looking at the officials. That's the next really big update is I'm going to be working on the city officials and how the whole heat meter officials operate, how like right now like everyone can have the same official on their payroll. So I'm going to be looking into, all right, how does one city official be on 2 or more mafia families payrolls? Like can that be a thing? Should they only belong to one family? So then you got the competition of like families trying to compete over city officials. And eventually like one of the goals is like I have city official elections. And so if say in this case Savello has got their city official and they're in place but it's up for elections, and then the other family that's in Cleveland, they want to now reside and to get that city official, well they might be trying to get the person that's running against them in the election elected, so that way now they have that official because that person's on their payroll, so they got to try and get them elected. So trying to get that kind of stuff implemented so that way our world starts to come and feel more alive and give our consigs a little bit more fun to have with that. So that's a big update that I'm going to be starting to work on that might not release in February. And then another one that I potentially be starting on working on in February, probably won't release it until March, is some more updates to the bootlegging season. Every season I'm trying to make it better. So this season I'm going to be looking at building more of that kind of grind aspect of like the competition of like we're really competing here. So like to be able to upgrade a distillery or buy another distillery, your family will have to have delivered X amount of booze first before you can then upgrade or buy another distillery. So that way, like you're got to grind it out. Whereas right now, like it's just bam, as soon as it starts, the last bootleg season, both families just pulled out a ton of money and just like dumped it all, maxed out all their distills, bought a bunch of plots of land, and like immediately had everything full. And then we were just churning and just making so much booze over to the point like our family had a ton. Savello had a massive amount of booze in 2 different cities, if not maybe 3 different cities. So making that more of a grind. We're going to be looking into getting the cops involved with the distilleries, maybe doing some raids, maybe some busts, maybe arresting people while they're out in the deliveries, making it where the other families can maybe go and sabotage them, being able to upgrade your vehicle so you can upgrade it to make it go faster so you can maybe get away from the cops, a little bit faster on your deliveries so they don't take quite as long. You can knock off some time on your deliveries. So those are the things that I'm going to be looking at trying to do in time for the let's see, January, February, March, April. April will start the next bootlegging season. So I'll need this event or these updates done before then. So that's why I'll probably start them this month and then probably finish them and actually release them probably in March. So those are the things that I've got planned that I think are a priority. But hey, if you are watching this video, you've listened to what I've got planned, and you've got some different things that you think are more of a priority, let me know. Nothing is set in stone. If you've got something that you're like, this really needs to change now, or I'd really like to see this added, then let me know, and I can review it. I have a huge laundry list of things that are on my to-do list of things to do. So maybe your idea is something that's is already been recorded as an idea, but like you really think that it should be moved up the list and done sooner than later, because it makes something better, makes the game better, makes it easier, whatever it might be. So just let me know if there's anything that you guys think it should be a priority. And sorry for these videos being so long. I can just sit here and ramble on and on about this game. So for sure, I got to get a little bit quicker about this and get right to the point, hammer the key points, and then move on. So this video is also bringing back the YouTube bonus. So watching this video, there'll be a special code for these monthly. The special code will only be for these monthly recaps and review and previews for the next month. So I'll do these once a month, and I will have a special code, and then that code will, then you enter that into your profile at the top, you'll see it, and then you'll get some bonus America for watching the video. So please make sure you subscribe, like this video, comment down below, because that helps get this video some traction and maybe get it out there to some new eyes and maybe bring us some new players. So the bonus code for this video is Minx, capital M-I-N-X. And I've picked that because Minx has been absolutely fantastic. She's doing a way better job at recruiting people than I have. She's brought in a ton of people, spreading the word about the game. So I wanted to acknowledge her efforts, and I greatly appreciate the help, because definitely need it. The game is at a very slow and small player base right now. So need all the help I can get. And the more players that we have in the game, the more fun we all have. So thank you, Minx. Thank you so much for doing what you've been doing and recruiting people. I hope the new people like it. I know some haven't, but it looks like some have. So just more room to improve, to try and get people to stick around, give the game a shot. So, all right. I'll stop talking now. So thanks for watching this video. Take care. Keep it Mafia. Family, loyalty, respect. Goodbye.